Hello everyone and welcome to Electrical Engineering Tutorials. In this tutorial we explain how to compute the natural response of the RL circuit. The natural response is actually the time domain response of a circuit when we set an initial condition. Here's the problem. The electrical circuit consists of the current source IS, resistor with the resistance RS, switch S, inductor with the inductance of L, and the resistor with the resistance of R. At the time 0, that is at t is equal to 0, the switch has been opened. Find the voltage and the current at the terminals of the resistor R after the switch has been opened. That is for t greater than or equal to 0. In this tutorial, we will use the Laplace transform techniques to solve this problem. In the previous video tutorial, whose link can be found in the description below, we used the standard time-domain integration techniques to solve this problem. First of all, let's analyze this circuit and let's focus for the case when t, that is when time is smaller than 0. Over here, the switch is closed and we have this current source IS that provides the constant current to this circuit. After the transient time has been passed, the current inside of this circuit is considered to be constant, and we can assume that the current goes like this. Let's now focus what's happening over here, that is what happens with the voltage and the current through this inductor. From the basic theory of inductors, we know the following. We know that the voltage across the terminals of the inductor is given by this formula. I will denote this voltage by V. V is equal to minus, and minus takes into account the direction of the current, since the current goes from the lower to the higher voltage in this case, and then we have the inductance multiplying the first derivative of the current. Since the current is constant inside of this circuit, the first derivative of current with respect to time is 0, and then we have that the voltage drop across the inductor is equal to 0. This means that the voltage potential of this point and this point are equal. This further implies that there is no current through this resistor, as well as that there is no current through this resistor, since the potential of this point is equal to the potential of this point, and the potential of this point is equal to the potential of this point. And consequently, this current over here through L is equal to IS. This is a very important observation which sets the initial condition for further analysis. Namely, after we open over here the switch at t is equal to 0, this part of the circuit is disconnected. That is, this current IS cannot provide the current to the right side of the circuit since there is no closed loop. So what happens over here is that initially we have the current I, and the initial value of this current, that is at time equal to 0, is equal to the IS. And this is the initial condition for analyzing this circuit. For time greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, the circuit looks like this. This part is disconnected and we just have the inductor and the resistor, and the current direction is like this. This is a starting point for computing the time domain response of this circuit. The next step is to define a differential equation describing the dynamics of this circuit. For that purpose, let us denote the voltage drop or the voltage between the terminals of the resistor by V, and let us denote the voltage across the terminals of our inductor as VL. Obviously, we have that V is equal to VL. Or we can use the Kirchhoff's law to obtain this equation. Now, voltage across the resistor by using the Ohm's law is obviously current multiplying the resistance. On the other hand, as explained previously, we have that the voltage across the terminals of the inductor is minus L di over dt, where again this minus sign overcomes, or the minus sign here comes from the fact that the current direction is in this direction. Okay, now we can write this equation in this form. L di over dt plus R multiplying I is equal to 0. This is an ordinary differential equation with constant coefficients, and in addition it is linear. Consequently, we can use the Laplace transform techniques to solve this equation. And over here, we also had to add the initial condition, that is, at the time instant I of 0, the current is Is. To solve this problem, we can use two approaches. We can use the integration techniques, or we can use the Laplace transform. The Laplace transform is maybe the easiest approach to solve this equation. Before we apply the Laplace transform techniques, let's introduce the following notation convention. Namely, in time domain, we have I of t. The Laplace transform of I of t will be denoted like this, where this is an operator L, and the resulting Laplace transform will be denoted by a capital letter I, and then over here of S is a notation that this is actually transformed in the complex domain, where S is the complex variable. That is, this is the time domain, we use the lowercase letters, and in the Laplace domain, we use capital letters. Okay, the first thing that we need to do is to recall basic equations that will be used to solve this problem. First of all, we need to see what is the Laplace transform of the first derivative of some variable. That is the Laplace transform of di over dt. This is equal to S, where S is the Laplace complex variable, multiplying the Laplace transform of I of S, of I of t to be more precise, and that's I of S. And then over here we have the initial condition. In the time domain we have the minus sign and then the initial condition in the time domain. Again, Laplace transform of the first derivative of the current is S multiplying the Laplace transform of the current minus the initial condition I of 0. This is the first formula that we need to apply. By applying the Laplace transform operator to our differential equation, we obtain Laplace of the left-hand side of this equation reads like this: plus R I is equal to 0. Since the Laplace operator is a linear operator, we have L Laplace transform of di over dt, and we have plus R Laplace transform di, or actually I of t. Simply like this, and it's equal to 0. Laplace transform of 0 gives you 0. Here are several important comments. First of all, Laplace transform of something or a variable multiplying a constant is that constant multiplying the Laplace transform of the variable. And this is the rule we use. Same as here. Now let's apply this formula over here. So we have L multiplying S I of S minus, in the time domain, initial condition. This is basically Laplace transform of di over dt plus R, and over here we have capital I of S is equal to 0. Now let's change the color to make this video more interesting, and let's rearrange this equation. Let's group everything that has I of S inside. So we can write, we will have LS from this term over here, if you multiply, plus R from this term over here. Then we can put this in parentheses, multiplying I of S is equal to, here on the left hand side we have L multiplying I of 0 with the minus sign. When we multiply this thing and move it to the right hand side, we have L I of 0. Consequently, this equation can be written like this. I of s is equal to, then we can write a fraction. In the denominator, we will have ls plus r, and in the numerator, we will have l. And over here, we will have the initial condition. Now, this equation can be written like this. I of s is equal to, we can take l from the denominator and the numerator, and as the result, we will have this. 1 over s plus r over l multiplying the initial condition. Here's the last equation once again over here. And now we need to compute the inverse Laplace transform to go back to the time domain and to solve our problem. To do that, we need to recall the formula for the Laplace transform of the exponential function, namely Laplace transform of the function e to the power at, where t is time and a over here is a constant, is 1 over s minus a. Similarly, Laplace transform of e to the power minus at is equal to 1 over s plus a. And we need to use this formula to find the time domain expression. To find the time domain expression, we apply the inverse Laplace transform, which is usually denoted like this. Inverse Laplace I of s. And then over here, we need to apply the same thing to the right-hand side, inverse Laplace of the whole expression. 1 over s plus r over l. And over here, I of 0 needs to be still inside. We can write it down like this. Okay. Since I of 0 is constant, it can go out of the inverse Laplace. So over here we obtain that I of t, that is the time domain function, is equal to inverse Laplace transform of 1 over s plus r over l. Let's nicely write it down. And over here we have a constant I of 0. Now we can apply this formula and we can obtain the final result that I of t is equal to, let's see what happens over here. We will have I of 0 as our initial condition, and then over here we will have e, and let's see what do we have. In our case, we will have this expression over here, and consequently we will have minus, over here we can write it like this, r over l multiplying t. And this is the final expression. If we now substitute for I of 0, I of s, that is our initial condition that we computed at the beginning of this video, we will obtain the final expression. That is, we will see that I of t is I of s multiplying e to the power minus r over l multiplying time. And that's final value for the current. The voltage value can be computed by multiplying the current by the resistance. This comes from the Ohm's law, and consequently we obtain that the voltage is R multiplying IS multiplying e to the power minus R over LT. Okay, now let's sketch the time domain behavior of I of t. If we draw a graph, and if we place on the x-axis time and on the y-axis current, we will obtain the decaying exponential function. Namely, when when basically t is equal to 0, I of 0 will be over here is. This is because we will have minus r over l multiplying 0. This gives 1, and then we will have is. That is, we start from is, and then this is an exponentially decaying function that looks like this. And then in infinity we will approach 0. And that's it. Okay, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.